1, I'm going live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this very, very special live cast with me, your host, Marco DeSantos, also known as the Mechanic Critic, and with me is the one, the only, project manager of Level 99 Games himself,
Josh, also known as Z3. How's it going, everybody?
Also, we have a very special guest, the God King Overlord of Level 99 Games himself.
Oh my goodness. I don't think I should answer to that.
All right, President of Level 99 Games himself.
But yes, I'm here. I managed to get my shot in time, and so I am here with us.
Sorry,
now.
who's
Trey,
here? Who's here?
Brad. This is Brad.
All right, that's Brad. Sorry, everybody. Brad doesn't have video right now.
Brad Talton Jr.
Brad Dalton Jr. Yeah, Brad doesn't have video right now. It's okay. We set up the stream for 2. We didn't know if Brad would make it, but Brad made it. So yay! Congrats. We're here.
And Trey is going to join us as well when he gets some technical issues worked out. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Regardless, chat. If you can hear us, please tell us whether or not you can hear us on the chat. And this is just going to be our Kickstarter countdown live stream. We're going to be just talking about Imperial. We're just going to be talking about Far Corners. We're going to be talking about how the project is going. We're going to be answering your questions, all while we're waiting for the final 43 minutes of the campaign to tick down. First of all, I would like to say a big thank you to all of you who are watching. A big thank you to all of our backers for believing in us, for giving us their support, and for doing that final social media push with all of us near the end, getting all of those other people excited. We're so glad that we got this game funded. How do you feel about this project, Josh?
I'm glad it funded. We've done early work on Far Corners and the errat, whatnot. We're actually at press right now doing some pre-press work. So I'm glad our efforts weren't in vain. I mean, I guess even if we didn't, and we'd still be okay, right? We would just do Far Corners in some other fashion later in the future. But
Perhaps.
We can do it now. So that's great.
Yeah, that's great. How about you, Brad? How do you feel about this?
Yeah, I have to say, I've been trying to downplay the stress, but Kickstarter projects are always super stressful for me. So I was really relieved to see that things funded, and yeah, I'm just really grateful to everybody who put in the last final push to make it happen. We are doing this project because we want to get Far Corners to you, and and thanks for helping.
We're so glad that everybody's here. So I'm actually just waiting on chat to start asking us questions, and so while we're waiting, I'm just gonna ask all of you how are you guys? My day has been really, really interesting. But before I talk about myself, how about you, Brad? How are you? How was the COVID vaccine? How was the traffic?
It was good. So I got my second shot just before coming here, and so now I'm gonna be fully. I guess it takes like 2 weeks, I think, for everything to get settled and for you to be truly immune. But at least I'm on the road to leaving 2020 behind me, so that feels pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, last night my daughter had some kind of stomach bug, and so she was up vomiting last night. So it was kind of a rough night
I'm sorry to hear that.
In general.
Hey, Brad, can you
between Kickstarter stress and taking care of family, I didn't get a whole lot of sleep.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Brad. Can you up your volume a little bit, Brad?
That's fine, right?
So that we can hear you better? Or can you speak closer to the mic?
My volume?
Yeah. You're a bit soft according to the chat.
Sure. Let me see. Here if I can do that. But go ahead and talk to Josh for a bit while I.
Yeah. Hey, how about you, Josh? How was your day?
I'm a little tired. I was up with you till like 12:30. I think last night working on a prototype for a new game. So
Yeah.
I'm a little out of it, and I woke up to a bunch of emails that I just now sorted out right before the stream.
Oh no.
So I'm hanging in there. We got a lot of stuff going on that I'm hanging on to manage. So I'm fine.
Oh
yeah,
man.
There's projects are going well. We're keeping on. So I've been worse, I guess.
Yeah. Ask me. Quick. Ask me.
What about you, Marco? How are you?
Yeah, it's 1 a.m.
Yeah.
It's 1 a.m. right now. You see this?
Now you know how I felt last night.
These are the but you're not you weren't streaming last time, right? We were just
Right, that's true.
yeah.
You
Now Marco has to keep up the energy despite it being 1 a.m. But look at this. These are the eyes of a man who is dedicated to Imperial and wants to make sure that all of you are having a good Imperial time. So, it's all chill, everyone. We're all gonna be fine. I am not sleep deprived. But regardless, I'm so glad that all of you are here, and I'm so glad that all of you can hear us, and I'm so glad that all of you are typing in chat. So feel free to ask us some questions while we're waiting on Trey, or, while Trey tries to fix his technical issues. Feel free to ask about the project. Feel free to ask about the game. Feel free to ask me, Josh, or Brad what our favorite pop songs are. I don't know.
Yeah, not just Imperial. Anything you want. We'll talk about other company.
But preferably things. Imperial, right? Preferably Imperial.
Yeah, this is the Imperial last 45-ish minutes live stream. So.
Right. Yeah. Let me see. Relieved to see that we reached funding. I'm not a Kickstarter watcher, but I saw this game and really wanted to get all the goodies. The game is a really premium product, right? The materials are good. Production quality side.
It's really the biggest base game that we've ever made.
Yeah.
I would say even bigger than Devastation. Maybe not in terms of like the total number of cards in the game, but in terms of the components in this game. The number of, miniatures and punch boards, the game is absolutely massive.
Right. Yeah, it's really, and the production quality I think is a step above, right? Like, we didn't need to make the city stand tiles things, but we did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's really fun. I really like that we did those. So Trey just sent us a message saying that the technical difficulties don't seem to be resolving themselves. So Trey will be on the YouTube live stream chat. So everybody say hi to Trey whenever Trey comes in. Let me see. So excited to get the base game and all the deluxe extras. They're great. Appreciate your efforts. When is Imperial character expansion coming for Bullet? That's a really loaded question.
So Indian's Bullet is been talked about in the shadows, in dark alleyways and what. But nothing for certain yet. We've got a couple things we want to do with Bullet before we start branching into like our other IPs. So I will say I do have a file in the company files for Bullet Indians like ready to go.
You've done it. You've exposed the dark secrets.
Nothing. I just did that for fun in my spare time. I am, nothing is set in stone yet. There's a bunch of shmup stuff we'd like to get to first before we get to I'd like to get Toho if that's possible, or other things. But
sure.
Imperial characters in Bullet, there's totally Indian's characters that would work well for the system. So
but when
maybe someday.
Characters in Imperial, Josh.
Bullet characters in Imperial.
Yeah.
I guess. If you're okay with like Ice for throwing trains across the map or something like that,
This is all a lie. This is all a lie.
I don't know how stream crossy we want to get with some of these games, right?
No, I think that Imperial is one of those games that benefits from being a bit more in self complete. Like some games make crossovers make sense and work.
Yeah, like Exceed and Bullet are kind of built for crossover works, but like Imperial, we could just introduce more Indians characters instead.
Yeah.
So
there's some games where crossovers do take away from the charm of it. Like if Ling Ling suddenly showed up teaching at Argent, that would be a little bit weird.
Imagine if Bruce Lee came in.
Yeah.
And then he suplexed the train, right? Like it's just improbable. All right. Andrew Taylor is saying that's why I wanted it. I'm the game teacher, and my regular players don't like games, but don't like heavy games. So a high quality, medium weight game is perfect for me. Well, I'm glad we're fulfilling.
Like Imperial Light. Yeah.
No. Imperial as it is.
Imperial is light. Yeah, sure.
That's the thing, is that a lot of the really premium games are really heavy games, and Imperial gives that opportunity to play a really full featured game that's effectively gateway or semi casual.
Right.
So
yeah.
I don't know. I think we do make gateway game a little bit too broad of a term, but I'd say as far as games that we have, Imperial is probably one of our most gateway games.
That's fair. I mean, Bullet's up in that category as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Imperial's certainly more accessible than like Argent or like BattleCon.
BattleCon or Exceed or any of these other games. Yeah, for sure. Oh, here's a real interesting question. What's your favorite captain in Imperial? How about your favorite Metro? Can I go first? I really love Marcinet, because Marcinet lets you pull off some really mean stuff by just spreading across the board real fast. I mean, look, I'm going to be biased and say that favorite Metro is White Palace. As to why, well, you have to just get Far Corners and play it yourself to see why. Ooh, advertised.
I think for me, I'm also a big fan of Marcinet, but I really liked the way Drexel came out, and so my choices are totally in terms of artwork, but I really like Drexel, and I actually have the Galston House Metro artwork as my phone background for like a year and a half now, so it's my favorite Metro, just on the aesthetics alone.
I see.
The and the story, this like the background of that place, I think is really really fun.
I see. How about you, Josh?
My favorite captain is an unannounced promo that isn't out yet, so you'll have to wait and see that one. My favorite Metro is probably White Palace because it was already made when I started production Far Corners, so I didn't have to do anything to launch.
I like it because it was easy for me to do the work.
As far as like gameplay, I haven't actually played Imperial with Metros yet, so I can't really speak to the mechanics of them.
Sure.
So I can only speak to the production side.
It's fine. It's fine. Chat says absolutely.
Also,
really...
the art looks nice.
I mean, look, White Palace art is so good, especially with the skull train in front of it. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, well, it talks about the far north, right, where like Dravel and stuff. It's a part of Indians that we haven't really heard much yet. So I like, things about Imperial that give us more lore.
Yeah,
and White Palace is one of those things.
For sure.
Yeah, I was talking to Marco about like all the lore behind Imperial and what
There's so much lore.
Oh my gosh! Do you know how Imperial storyline ends? Because Brad just explained the storyline to me, and I'm like, what do you mean? Like, Brad, just say it. Just say it so that chat knows. Just...
okay. So if you get so this is all like in Grand Chronicle. So the storylines are like fully fleshed out. You get to see the endings of the different games. And so in the Imperial chapter, you see the story for Imperial, and the Afterworld Express, Dolores builds these train lines all across the world, connecting and interconnecting with the different companies, seemingly going nowhere and making no real headway or money or anything. And then at the end of the story, like, she integrates all of her trains with the rest of the train grid, and it creates this giant magic gate that unleashes all the demons into the surface world.
Is that inspired by Full Metal Alchemist? Because it sounds
maybe it's slightly inspired by Full Metal Alchemist. But then Marcinet has to tell all of the Caterpillar trains to get up and fight with the demons, and the Caterpillar trains and the demon trains fight for the fate of Indians. And that's how the story ends.
So what you're telling me is that this ends with a boss... This is a train game, but the final boss fight is a giant demon horde army comes, and then you freaking send a bunch of caterpillars to fight them. Like...
Yeah, kind of like that.
This is some Nier Automata, Drakengard levels of, like, what the heck is going on? You know what I mean? Like... Have you seen one of the endings of Drakengard where it's like, we're medieval fantasy, dragons and stuff. By the way, the ending is giant chaos baby angels come from the sky and you get sent to modern Tokyo, and then just fighter jets kill you and your dragon. And I'm like, okay.
No, I never played through the series. But yeah, it's I don't think it's quite that crazy. Like, all this stuff makes sense in the world.
Sure, Brad, sure.
This world.
All right. Let me see. Sorry, I'm gonna read chat now.
I'm simplifying the story a little bit.
Sure. Josh, do you believe, Brad, that he's simplifying it, or he's just trying to lampshade the fact that he wanted a giant boss fight between demons and caterpillars?
I mean, it sounds like a pretty straightforward ending to me. I assume Marcinet wins, right? It's been a while since I've read Grand Chronicle, but...
Yes. The demons do not take over the surface world.
Right. Once again, they
Once
do
again.
not take over the surface world.
Right. Let's
Thanks
see
to the
some more
caterpillar.
questions. Do you guys think you'll ever do an Imperial expansion larger in scope than Far Corners? I know it would be hard to consider something with how full the box already is.
That's I think the real thing is that anything we do, we need to be conscious of fitting it into the base box. And so, with Far Corners, that's what we were thinking about is we need to make something that definitely integrates into the box as it is now.
Right.
Right, we don't want to run into a situation where we need to make another box later. All the new stuff,
Yeah.
like with Collusion or Unleashed. So,
Right. Yeah, we want this. We don't want people to have to replace their box for the base game.
and Imperial with As Above, So Below, and Far Corners is a substantial content, right? Like there's a lot there.
There's a ton of game there. But if we did something, I think it would probably something big. It would probably go in a different direction than we've seen so far.
Like some kind of new module or something.
Obvious.
I don't know exactly how. I don't know how. It
Brad,
might when
Brad,
Trey was developing the game, there was a really what's up?
Brad, you've done it, right? Like, we just print a new rule book, and it turns into a dudes on a map game, and then you have the caterpillars fight the demons. We figured it out.
Campaign mode.
We got another dudes on a map game in the works. So.
Oh no, you've exposed. Why do you guys keep doing this to me and exposing things on stream that you shouldn't be exposing yet?
As long as we don't go into details, it's fine. Talk about a promo or a project that we haven't said.
But what I mean to say is that it'll take some form that we can't really imagine. Just
Right.
Yet.
Yeah, like if we did tackle another expansion, we would want to think outside the box
Yeah,
for it.
there won't just be a more content expansion. I don't think.
Right.
Not of the size of Far Corner, or not of the size of As Above, So Below.
Yeah, I think I really like the idea of an expansion that doesn't just pump more content into the game, because one thing that we have in our games that we're never lacking is replayability. So you're not gonna be starved for content, that's for sure. Here's another really interesting question from chat. Any tips in convincing people to play Imperial? Nobody believes that it's not a super heavy game after they see the large box.
I mean,
Watch a gameplay video, maybe.
Watch a gameplay video.
Playthrough.
I think the best way to do it would be to just show them a turn. That's how I've convinced some of the people. to
Yeah,
play.
just tell them the turn is move your conductor, do a thing. That's it,
Right.
right?
Yeah,
That's pretty much every turn.
I think a lot of problems comes from the fact that they see all of these components on the board and they immediately associate it with oh man, it's a Euro game. I have to think about things 17 turns ahead, blah 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 blah. But Imperial is really a game of I move a thing, I do a thing, right? And really, that's
it's pretty straightforward and simple. But I think that you will. I don't know. I don't know. I guess the make an event of it. I find that it's easier to get people to agree to a game before we get to game night. So I just say, hey, I'm gonna have a group and we're gonna play this game, and get people to say, yeah, sure. And then once 4 or 5 people have said, yeah, sure, and bring over some snacks,
that's
then
fair.
everybody's committed already. And I think, yeah, when we're sitting at game night and then we're like, what are we gonna play? That's not the time to bring out a game like Imperial.
Yeah, that's
It's
fair.
more like let's make this a centerpiece, and then after this we can decide if we want to play other things.
Yeah, that's fair.
But with a game of that kind of not weight but scope, where it's a big centerpiece type game, you want to sort of build your game night around it.
Right, that's fair. I mean, Imperial's a pretty short game though, right? Like it's not like a
That depends
Cthulhu
on the number of
Wars.
players you have. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
it's
fair.
pretty reasonable, 20 minutes a player, but if you have 6 players, that's 2 hours, and the
Yeah.
game supports up to 8.
That's fair. I mean, that is a lot of players. One thing I do want to note though is that show them the characters and the art. Because I think when they see that the game is filled with colorful characters and elves and magic fireballs and caterpillar trains and demon cars and stuff like that, they're gonna quickly see that it's not the kind of Euro game that they think it is based on just the box alone, right? Show them the characters, show them the cool specialists, show them all the cool captains, show them all the cool little trains that don't look like generic trains. You know what I mean? Show them everything about the game that makes it exciting, right? That differentiates it from your typical other train game. Oh, did we get... Is Trey here? Is Trey here?
No, that was me. Sorry. I'm here at the office doing this, and so when Kira or Cheska come in to do some other things, I'm muting the microphone so that we don't have background.
See, that makes sense.
Um,
So excited for a level 99 games dudes on a map game. As long as it keeps up the usual insanity. I mean, when do we never do the
does.
insanity?
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
I think we're kind of balancing the idea of like, keeping our games more reasonable in the, I guess, in material scope, and how are we going to have the same kind of extreme content and replayability that we're used to, while keeping things in in a reasonable package.
Yeah, that's my main goal with this unannounced project, making sure the scope doesn't get too nuts because
This is the yin and
it's
yang.
just a little nuts right now. Not
Right.
quite 7 cross level, but it could be pulled back a bit.
Sure.
But we'll see. We'll get there. Still in testing.
Well, speaking of Imperial, we've crossed the 2,000 backer threshold.
Woo!
Final minutes.
Congrats to us. I'm really happy that we've gone further beyond the 100,000 goal. So congrats to all of you. Congrats to all of you backers. Give yourselves a little pat on the back and have a platonic kiss on the cheek from me. Let me see. Any tips on quick setup to show off a turn? Setup can take a bit compared to how fast the game runs. I mean, if the point is to just show off a turn, don't even bother setting up the entire board. That's just meaningless, right? Like, just set up one tile, set up some resources, and then just show, hey, I moved my guy, I put the thing on the board. That's it, right? Like,
if you have a high quality gaming group, they will help you set up the game.
that's fair.
Because that's what friends do. They help you set up the game, and they don't just leave you to tear it down when you win.
Oh man, that's
I think
my
it's
Millennium
from
Blades.
experience.
My
That's-
childhood memories.
Oh man.
I remember when I was younger and I designed like a collectible card game for all my friends in high school, and I had to cut out a lot of cards by hand.
Oh
and
no.
wasn't a lot of help offered for that.
But were your friends playing it?
Oh, they played it, yeah.
Okay,
They
but they
played
didn't
it.
help you make it. That sounds like in my friend group we call that a pretty jerk move.
They're the things that we do to to entertain and to be I guess say a part of the community that we care about.
I see. I
Are-
see.
So I don't regret it.
You just
I
wish
think
you had
that,
more help.
I think we would have had more fun if we had done it together.
That's
if it
fair.
hadn't
Hey
just-
Josh, what do you think?
Yeah.
Would you have had more fun?
As someone who has cut out lots of cards for past, I don't know that cutting out would make the gameplay experience any more engaging.
Oh, come on, when we're all sitting around together assembling prototypes.
I think that if you proved to me that the game was good first, then I'd be excited to cut out future iterations.
I
But
see.
I see.
as someone who also played card games with people in high school, people kind of pulled their own weight. In fact, I mean, nobody made any games back then, I suppose, but
Right.
no one's gonna shuffle your deck for you or whatever.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
All right.
the real question, Brad, is how big were the prototypes you made then that cutting them out was that much of a hassle, right?
That game.
Did you not know minimum viable prototype back then?
Well, I mean, it was a living game. It was a living game. That game had about, I'd say, like 2 shoeboxes full of cards. Once it was completely finished.
Wow.
So
Okay, that's
probably about 2,000 cards existed, which means I cut out at 9 up sheets. I probably cut up about 220 pages, something like that.
Did you print the cards or did you just draw them by
I
hand?
printed the cards, and then I used spray adhesive to attach the fronts and the backs together to make it actual card weight. And then I sliced them out by hand with-
young Brad is on a level of insane that I just can't. I just can't. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I had a lot of free time on my hands.
I didn't have a lot of friends.
Well, I did have friends. I did have friends, and when I couldn't
I
be with
swear.
my friends because I couldn't drive, I would make things to play with my friends when I saw them. And so that was where
I
my
see.
mind, is I put it into making these prototypes.
Yeah,
Not
makes-
prototypes, making games.
Making
have a
card.
console.
What was the name of your card game? What was the name of the collectible card game?
Oh gosh, I'm embarrassed to actually talk about it. It was called Anime Arsenal, and it was
I love it.
like all my favorite TV shows or all my favorite anime shows. Various
Oh
characters.
my gosh, you just yes.
So it was a big crossover. I guess maybe you'd say it was a precursor to like Anime Hem or UFS or something.
No, obviously it was a precursor to the Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny, one of the best Lemon Demon songs ever. But I digress.
You have to get up pretty early to come out.
To what?
I said you have to wake up pretty early in the morning to be a precursor to that song.
Yeah, that's fair.
I could have gone the rest of my life without remembering that song existed, Marco. Thanks.
But that song is a banger.
Puts out CDs, and they're still pretty good.
All right.
Spirit Phone's a really great CD.
Here's a really, really interesting question from chat. We have two designers and one developer on call, and the chat says, "Give a pitch for Imperial Blades."
Imperial Blades.
Imperial Blades.
I mean, clearly you like play the cards to this. Like the board is like 3 times as big, right? And you play the cards onto the board. Like your board is your tableau, and then you have to go pick them up again. I guess it would be like a Monster World thing, like how in Yu-Gi it was like the Monster World, and you can go there sometimes, and like they have lives and stuff.
Sure.
I think it would be like Millennium Blades. Imagine you're playing a game of Millennium Blades, but instead of earning RP, you earn the right to place trains and to collect goods.
You're all foolish.
The shared board in the middle is the resolution pool, or is the resolution system.
I see.
We use our different train car cards.
Oh, that's like your tableau, basically.
Yeah. So you'd get all your train cards, and then you build your train, and then you run your train, and it lets you put things out, move around, and then you can adjust that as you go along.
Yeah, so it's like deck building and tournament phase in one. Like,
yeah. You draft and then you play into your quote unquote tableau, but the cards you play are actually spell cards or whatever, right? Essentially.
Yeah, I think that's
spell cards.
Spell cards. Oh my gosh.
I think that's too far removed. It's not even a pun anymore.
Yeah, that's fair. So there you go. Imperial Blades. Here's my answer. It's really, really simple, right? It's a train collecting game, and all it is it's a dexterity game now, and you and your friends just try to grab as many trains as possible from the center of the board. I
thought you were gonna say it's just Millennium Blades, but all the cards are train focused.
Actually,
it's
Blades.
Every time you clash, you play a game of Imperial to resolve the clash.
Oh no!
Ah.
It's Millennium Blades, except if you win, you get the data train. How about that?
What? Where did that even come from?
I don't see how that's Imperial or Millennium.
Marco, okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Marco DeSantos.
Daniel Holnick says, nominate Josh to PNP all of Millennium Blades again. Oh no.
I've done enough Millennium Blades for anyone's lifetime, just with collusion.
Okay.
So I'm Millennium Blades out at this point.
Same. Soul King who says, whoa, Marco looks way different. That's because I haven't been to the barber in months. So I have this weird, like, Korean boy band haircut. Sorry, what?
Have you got metal hair?
No, it's more like like Korean boy band bangy, like almost looks like a bowl cut. Isn't a bowl cut hair? Usually
so
I'm
a K-pop star.
Yeah, exactly. Usually I have more shorter hair. Usually my lighting is different. For people who can't tell, I'm in a different place than I usually am. COVID makes it really hard to go to my studio, and it's like 1 a.m. and stuff. So there's a bunch of logistical problems that happened as a result of this. So I apologize if I don't look like I usually do. Just think of this as a different side of Marco, a different flavor of Marco, Galarian Marco, if you will. Question for the streamers: what is your game, or I assume what level 99 game do you have the most plays with?
The most plays.
See, that's a really difficult question, because some of our games take 10, 15 minutes to play, and then some of our games take an hour to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So if you talk in terms of like pure time volume
Yeah.
spent gameplay, I would
Seventh Cross,
say probably Seventh Cross, because at least that in development time. I don't know about actual like table time. In actual table time, it's probably Exceed, because I think we spent more time playing Exceed and more time creating for Seventh Cross.
That's fair.
Yeah, and of course there was a bunch of versions before version 1 that you guys didn't see of Exceed, so there was a lot of prototyping time as well.
I think my answer for that is BattleCon, but that's just because I'm a turbo nerd who like played BattleCon 2 times a day for 2 years straight. So like,
Yeah, that'll do it.
yeah. How about you,
Number
Josh?
of games for me is probably Bullet, though, because
Yeah, that's fair.
we did 20 versions, and some versions were tested multiple times, and version 28, which is the current version, was tested a bazillion times. So,
Right.
yeah, I probably have over 100 or 200 plays of that game at this point.
Oh.
I can hear you now, Trey. You're here.
Oh, amazing.
Oh,
Wow.
okay. Your mic's a bit soft, but hey, look, at least now we have Trey on call.
Yeah. Sorry, Discord is not working for me today. But to answer the question at the moment, probably Imperial, honestly. Although Argent's much older, so I have a lot longer time with Argent. But we did a lot of balance testing for Imperial, so I played that game like a million times in Tabletop Simulator, just doing the final balance touches. So probably Imperial.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So that just goes to show how much care and effort and sweat and tears went into this game that all of these wonderful people in chat have backed. All right. Here's another question. What are the future digital plans for the team? Android apps, PC apps, etc. in the works, or have those been shelved for physical experiences for now?
We are mostly focusing on the physical experiences
Right.
for now. I think that digital takes a lot of work, a lot more work than it looks like from the outside, and we learned that the hard way in some of our past projects. We may finish up some of the digital releases that we had been working on in the past, but we don't have any new ones planned for the future. And if we do more digital games, it'll probably be us licensing our IPs and artwork out to a studio that can implement and publish those, as opposed to us being the publisher
Makes sense.
of those digital games.
Yeah. And we'll still likely be off like TTS and Tabletopia mods for our new upcoming games, so you can all try where it comes out. But as far as like full-fledged digital implementations, yeah, that's something that's yet to be seen.
Right. Hey, Trey, you can probably answer this. Do I need to add Far Corners in the add-ons if I'm pledging at the Explorer level, which is the $9 pledge tier level?
No.
Gosh.
That is the Far Corners tier.
Yeah.
The $9 tier.
Brad, you ruined my segue. I was giving Trey airtime, and then you decided to not let him have it.
Oh, well, it was okay. I mean, yeah, that seemed like the kind of question that for the person that made all the tiers, but okay. I'll back up and trust your wisdom.
Ugh.
But I was happy to answer it.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's definitely a question for Brad, but I was trying to involve everyone on this call, okay? Gosh. Somebody's asking in chat, is Trey's next project for level 99 games Indians related in any way? Trey, can you answer that?
Only with Brad's permission.
I mean, yeah, you can talk about it. That's fine. Just don't say anything too specific till we announce it. We still don't have a working title for it, so.
Sure, yeah. I guess what I'm allowed to say is that, yes, I'm working on something else for L99, and yes, it involves the Indians. So I can confirm those two things.
Oh.
Yeah, it's going to be, I mean, we've got this nice ramp of like Argent to Imperial. So what comes next? You can kind of imagine the logical progression.
It's almost like we've talked about it on the stream already.
Yeah, it's almost like we've talked about it on this very stream already.
Right.
What's your favorite non-level 9 game, Dre?
I mean, I currently say Gloomhaven, although I'm kind of burnt out on Gloomhaven at the moment. I would say maybe Terra Mystica or Agricola. I like games that have a lot of like variety and a lot of differentiation in from play to play, which is why I like Gloomhaven because of the different classes. I like Agricola because of the cards. I like Terra Mystica because of the different factions. So those are the kind of influences that I incorporate into my design, which is why there's so much variety in Argent and Imperial.
Yeah, and you can see a lot of the Terra Mystica influence in Imperial as well. And what would you say Argent was most inspired by?
I would say just my love of worker placement in general. Like Agricola is still one of my favorite games, and I like there are very few worker placement games that I've played that I haven't enjoyed on some level. Like I don't love all of them, but I just think it's a very interesting mechanic, which is basically action drafting. But I like the ones that are more interactive. Like some of them are very solitary experiences, but like in Agricola and obviously in Argent, it's a very interactive game, and so like you can really just get into someone's face and ruin their plans.
And fireball their students into the infirmary tray.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would never do such a thing, but some people would.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you were the type that just fireballed everybody and didn't even look at the voters. Just maximum aggression.
It depends on what mood I'm in that particular day. Sometimes I'm just like there to cause chaos, and then sometimes I'm just very strategic and I will only fireball you if you're in my way.
And I think that's one of the coolest things about these two games, not Imperial and Argent, is that they are games where you can express your mood or your identity through play.
Oh,
you can play a certain way,
yeah.
and say, this is my style, and you can find that style and build it and develop it through the course of the game.
Now I gotta ask.
Every time I do that, something gets banned or a rule gets tweaked.
Now I gotta ask.
The last time I played PT, Exufern got banned, and the last time I played Argent, the rules adapted to where influence doesn't rule on. I can't just not look at voters constantly.
That was Trey's decision.
No, I know.
I
usually play in pretty degenerate fashion, so by all means fix Argent where it doesn't make that playstyle viable. But I'm still gonna do it.
Oh man, yeah, I know. Like, part of me is that the playstyle I do is the playstyle that everybody else says is bad, just to prove them wrong.
Yeah, I definitely do want it to be a viable strategy in Argent to not look at the voters and just kind of like do the crapshoot and try to be as eligible for as many voters as possible, while also gaining hints based on how your opponents are playing, and you can kind of guess what voters they've seen. So I want that to be viable, but I did think influence was just a little too strong, which is hence the small balance tweak from first to second edition.
Yeah, no, it's totally fair. It's still a perfectly viable strategy. It's just slightly less viable in certain setups.
Yeah.
Depending on what the rooms are and stuff.
Completely fair. All right, guys.
Honestly, like Argent's still one of my favorite games that the company makes. So, and that's saying something. So.
Oh, and that's saying something.
Very good game.
I see. Makes sense.
Because we also make Josh's game.
yeah. So it's.
I mean, yeah, Bullet's fine too, I guess, but if
the
you're
designer of
pure,
Bullet, everyone.
Games, pure level 99 games I actually enjoy playing in my off time. Level 99 games I don't enjoy my off time. One of these numbers is much bigger than the other. I'll leave that chat to decide which is which.
All right, that's fair.
But all of our games are stellar, of course. It's just different strokes for different folks.
All right, guys, let's ask this question. So we have around 5 minutes left. So if you have any more questions for Trey, the designer of Imperial, feel free to ask them. But while we're waiting for you to ask them, what genre or what video games would Level 99 Games love to adapt into a board game in the future?
You don't even know.
You don't.
If I talked about it, I would spoil projects. Brad, can I drop hints of project I'm working on or not?
I guess. I mean, why don't we just go around and we'll each name a genre? And
okay, fine.
Whether you're working on that genre or not, you don't have to say. But
yes.
Fine.
So
all right.
Go ahead, Josh.
Start
what
with
genre
Josh.
Do you think we should translate to tabletop?
FMV / visual novel.
Talking about the old Dragon's Lair. Dawn
Yeah,
Fleet.
like Dragon's Lair, Space Ace type of stuff.
All right.
Yeah, that's something I would totally like to make into a board game one day. That would be so cool.
All right.
What about you, Marco?
JRPG. Did the stream disconnect?
But
Okay.
yeah, Trey, do you have any other
Stream's back.
any video game genres you'd be interested in making board game?
Oh yeah. So the idea I've been working on for like the past month. It's still in its very early stages, but I'm designing a Heroes of Might and Magic. If anybody is familiar with that, it's basically kind of, I guess, the closest current board game adaptation is Mage Knight. Which is basically you have a hero on an overworld and you're going around from different places, defeating monsters, gaining treasure, that kind of thing. It's like a thematic Ameritrash type of experience. But I hate Mage Knight because it's just so slow and plotting. I'm trying to design a game that's like that, but it's not slow at all. It's like very fast. Like I like fast-paced turns, especially in a game like that where it's like just as much about the thematic experience as it is about the strategy.
Makes sense, yeah.
But Mage Knight is like plotting. Like everyone's turn takes like 5 minutes per turn. I cannot stand that game, even though I love the concept of it, but I don't have to play it.
Hot takes from Trey here. How about you, Brad? What's your genre?
If you want to hear a lot of strong opinion to Trey's podcast,
That's fair.
Yeah.
where he doesn't hold anything back.
I do not.
For me, I recently played a Zelda multi-world. I don't know if you're familiar with these, but the idea is that like it's Legend of Zelda and it's randomized, so every chest can contain any item.
Yeah, so
And
it's a Zelda randomizer.
There's also like 4 copies of the game that are randomized together. So like I might open a chest and find Marco's, like Marco's magic mirror or Josh's fire rod.
Right.
And so we're all playing this. We're all trying to go through this game and trying to find the items for each other to unlock one another's progression. And I played that, and I thought it was really inspiring, and that a really cool board game could come out of that. Although I haven't figured out what it's going to be yet.
That's
What platform is this?
What platform is it?
You have to play that on emulators. It's not. It's not something.
It's not an official thing. So, Brad, this reminds me of something where it's Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening randomizer.
Yeah.
That's same multi-world thing, but instead of it being another Zelda: Link's Awakening, it's Metroid Prime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's or Super Metroid, I think is the one.
Oh, it's Super Metroid? Yeah. So, like, you can be Link, and then you unlock, like, freaking ball.
Yeah, you walk through a door, and you pop out in Norfair, and yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird. And then Samus can find the Master
pretty
Shield
cool.
for Link. Like, what?
Yeah, and then you can multi-world that game, too. So that you're finding items with other players.
Guys, we have 1 minute until the Kickstarter ends. So do you have any special things you want to say, Trey, to all the people who've backed your game?
Sure. Oh, did we hit 2,000 backers? I can't.
Yes, we did.
2019.
Yeah,
We're
well,
in the past.
that's amazing. I just want to thank everyone. Like we couldn't have done it without you. All the returning backers and all the people who roll the dice. I know like you have a lot of options on Kickstarter nowadays, and there's a lot of overproduced games out there. But like a lot of overproduced games don't have good gameplay. But I promise you, we put this one to make sure that it wasn't just pretty to look at, but it also has great gameplay.
All right, I'm gonna go count down because we're at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Congratulations, everybody. With all of your help and all of your support, we have funded Imperial. Final total is 108,431 with the help of 20 backers.
Nice.
Wow.
One more, and we would have had it exactly on the year.
2020 seems to follow us.
Oh no, please stop. 2020.
Yeah, you were talking earlier in the stream about you thought you escaped 2020, but you haven't.
Well, I think that I'm really excited about the result. I'm really excited that we're going to have another chance to print this game and to share it with more folks. It was we didn't really anticipate how big the demand for it would be, and in our first print run. And I'm glad that we're going to get another chance to share this with the world, because I think that it's a kind of game that like Argent will become a staple in a lot of people's collections, and that you'll be playing this game 5-10 years from now, and thinking about maybe today when we talked about the end of the stream. So
Right.
thanks for joining us, and thanks for making this a reality.
Yeah. Okay. Josh, do you have anything you want to tell the backers before we all log out for the stream?
Thanks for validating my work hours. We'll get this to you as soon as we can.
Josh, as usual, the project manager. Upon the end of the Kickstarter, he's like, "Okay, now my job starts," and he cracks his knuckles.
Well, it's more. I think Josh is saying that he already did his job, and now he's glad.
Yeah,
that
Far Corners has been impressed for like a week now. So, well, I'm glad that it wasn't, time wasted.
One thing that's
So-
really good about this project, right, and what you've said, that is that our delivery timeline for this won't take as long as a lot of our other projects, right? Because we mostly came into the Kickstarter with Far Corners done, and it's a reprint.
Yeah, it's
right?
just a reprint with some minor erratas and Far Corners, which is already done. So,
yeah.
assuming there's no major issues at press shipping, this should be a pretty quick turnaround.
So
Yeah. So it says March 2022 on the project, and I think that that's a worst case scenario. That
Yeah, we're trying to start estimates out a lot farther, just in case.
yeah, we're no longer being
things are-
optimistic.
Yeah. Under promise over is what we're going.
I like that. I like
So,
that strategy.
Always a good idea when it comes to Kickstarter deadlines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Trey has given us the ancient wisdom. So, for me, I will, love to say that thank you all so much for helping us out on the social media front, telling your friends about it. Hopefully we get you this project and you enjoy the game. Hopefully you enjoy the colorful cast of characters. Hopefully you unlock the secret ending where you fight the demons with your caterpillar mech. It's all canon now. So thank you so much for being on the stream, asking us your questions, and of course, thank you so much for giving us your support and your trust. So without much else to say, I would like to thank you all so much for watching this episode of the Level Dust Livecast. It has been me, your host, Marco DeSantos, also known as the Mechanic Critic, and with me has been the project manager of Level 99 Games himself,
Josh, also known as F3. Happy gaming,
Happy
everybody.
Gaming. We also have president of Level 99 Games himself,
Brad Talton, that's me.
and we have the designer of Imperial, God King of the train railways.
I feel like it's too easy to become a god king in this environment.
Yeah, I mean, you can be the God King of your own life, Brad. I'm the God King of my own house. So, Trey, sorry. Trey?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, so sorry,
yeah.
designer of Imperial himself?
Yes. This is Trey Chambers signing off.
All right, and everybody, we hope you have a wonderful day, and happy gaming.
Happy gaming.
Quick,
Happy
Trey,
gaming.
say it. Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.